Hi, I'm here with David Collier. He's a data scientist with Engine Yard. And let me just ask you, David, thanks for joining me, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you actually live in Ireland. So, how Irish do you feel? What's left of those French-Canadian roots?
Well, see, that's a very tough question to answer because I was born in Canada and my family was initially from Ireland many years ago. And through most centuries in our history, there has been people movements. Population have been moving, and there was mass immigration, for instance, was a good example from Ireland to America. And I think we can see it again now, especially with the transport systems. We can fly anywhere, and we can see that people travel a lot more and they move to different places, right? And at this point, I consider myself more resident of the world rather than just Ireland or just Canada or just America. I'm not a label to a country, but I'm trying to be part of a better world rather than just a country.
Now, you are in essence a community guy. So you started out in the PHP community, then you stepped into the AWS world, and you were building platform as a service. Now you're a data scientist. So can you tell me, are there any significant differences between those different communities?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're differences. I'd say they're more like complementary qualities rather. So to get to data science, when you're in the PHP developer community in general, you need to, you're essentially a code guy. So you know algorithms, you know how to manipulate data, you know how to produce things. When you move into AWS, that's more kind of the operational side of things, wherein you learn how to deploy all your stuff, scale your operations. And then when you move to data science, with my background in business, because I've had a few startups before that, it ties all those things together. And I think those communities are also very complementary together. So data science is usually built from other members of other communities. I don't think there's one data science community. I think you need hacking skills, you need maths, and you need expertise. AWS is a type of expertise. A PHP community is a type of hacking skill, and maths and business, they're just another one. That's part of my background.
I think that the way your career has evolved, it's a really nice story. You were developer building successful PaaS, and then that was acquired by Engine Yard, right? And now you're a data scientist, but you're also an investor. So can you briefly talk to us about this quite adventurous journey?
Yeah. Well, as I said, I've always been a business person at heart. I mean, my first business, I was 9. I was hired a few of my friends, and my mom came back. I was sitting by the pool, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm paying them, and I'm keeping some money, and they're happy." So from that, I'm kind of autodidactic, where I can learn easily myself, and I learned how to code, and I learned how to make startups, and that's how the orchestra side of things came in, which was the prior to Engine Yard when they acquired us. So from knowing how to code and knowing how business works, that's essentially how we brought a set of qualities to Engine Yard. And that's how data science ties into Engine Yard, because Engine Yard is still a startup, so I bring the hacking skills, the math skills, and the business skills, and I can talk to various parts of the company, from engineer to board level, in their different languages. So an executive will not speak like an engineer. They have different words. A business is in infancy mode. A startup is a startup to an engineer. And all those skills, they also apply for my investment perspective and my investment strategies. And that's all it is. It's all expertise that I try to bring forward.
What does a data scientist actually do?
Yeah, that's a question I often get. And see, that's a typical question for a programmers conference or a development conference, wherein software developers or software engineers, it's easy to quantify what's done on a day-to-day basis. You have a certain amount of tickets, you have code that you write, your output is very clear. You wrote 200 lines of code, fixed 2 tickets. From a data science perspective, that's a bit different, because there's more of it's more like a long tail project. So you don't, in one day you might not finish one project, because you have to model the data, you have to ask questions, you have to find out requirements, you have to talk to stakeholders, and that's, on a day-to-day basis, I could be modeling, I could be writing code, I can be sending user surveys, I can be talking to the board, but essentially what I think I do, what I hope I'm doing properly, is I'm asking questions daily. I think questioning and finding the right way to ask questions to people is ultimately what a data scientist needs to learn how to do these days.
Can you tell me something about Engine Yard?
Yeah, it was a simple recipe, really. There was traditional hosting, and there were newer companies that were too far ahead of the market. I think what we did is we solved the problem that both real businesses need and developers need. So we allow businesses to have automatic failovers, backups, systems like this, and we allow developers to just deploy their apps automatically. But we also allow developers to connect to their servers, something that most of our competitors, or what seem to be perceived as our competitors, don't want to do. I think they're too far ahead of the market. So what we did is we looked at least that's what I understand from Engineered, is we bridge that gap between the movements of cloud.
Tell me, what is the single most exciting thing you're working on right now?
Everything. Everything I do is interesting. Everything I do is exciting. I'm very opinionated, so if something doesn't work, or it's not interesting me or not exciting, I'm not going to take it on. But with a few customers we have in Engineer that we talked to, we decided to try and help them predict whether or not they're going to be successful with all of their types of behavioral patterns. So for those customers, we compare it with other kind of patterns from our customers, and we grab their resource data, so CPU usage, fault pages for servers, memory usage. We also grab data from Twitter to see what their customers are saying about them. We grab data from LinkedIn to see management changes in a company. We grab data from Crunchbase to identify how their industry is performing, but also how type of investment they receive, type of jobs they're looking for, and all these sort of things. So what's really exciting right now is trying to predict if a customer is going to be successful or not.
So what does the future hold for big data?
I can answer that question by saying I think the future holds the answer to that question. And what I mean by that is, traditionally, I've been working with data for many years. Before I was a data scientist, I worked in face recognition, voice recognition, all those types of things. Historically, we're really good at looking at data. The financial system is very good at this. You backtest your strategies, your algorithms on historical data. Right now, what we seem to be focused on is real-time data, or what is seemingly like real-time data. And what I think the future holds is the natural progression of this. So we're good at looking at history. We're good at looking at what's happening right now. What we're not quite good at yet, but we'll get there, is accurately predicting the future after that. And hopefully, as predicting models improve and people start building better solutions to analyze data better, that's what the future holds.
Okay, we're only at the beginning now of the Damn Data conference, so what are you most looking forward to, or what speaker are you most looking forward to hear?
Well, see, the thing is, I'm not looking particularly forward to the speakers, because I know some of them. What I'm very interested in is how people are solving real problems in the data world. And what I like to do is kind of go to places where people are intelligent, probably a lot more intelligent than me, hopefully, because I'm not particularly intelligent. But then I go to different places and I relay what everyone said and how they fix their problems, and then I kind of sound intelligent. And that's what I'm looking forward to here, seeing how people solve real problems in the real world, not academics, not theories, just practice, how they solve practical problems.
David, thanks for speaking with me. Now I'll let you go back and enjoy the rest of your day at Damn Data.
Cheers, thank you very much.